Yeah, there's certainly some fun. What are some of the more important questions that do you think are in here?
I mean, I think it's a fairly simple and basic exercise. I don't think there was anything that's really more important than another. This was kind of a wade into the shallow end of the pool to help some of our people get aware that this is going on and give us some input. I don't know that we'll do additional surveys, but there will be, our next committee meeting is January 25th. And into the spring, I would expect that we will have some work sessions that we'll make sure are advertised. So if there's people from down in the valley or up here around the resort that want to come join us in a conference room at the library or wherever that may be to tell us about recreation or tell us about housing concerns or tell us about transportation concerns and some of that will get more detailed and more, what do you think and what should we be considering doing as a town?
So this was the one in 2003.
Correct.
And did the town achieve many of these?
I think the town achieved most of that or a lot of things in there. The comprehensive plan is really kind of a roadmap of where we think we want to go, and there may be some things that in the future you look at, we didn't achieve that. So now we're looking at, is that still a goal, or has that kind of skewed to the side, and we want to look at that.
And there's some new roads.
And some new roads. I mean, there's no mention of mountain biking specifically in that book, which has become a huge thing since that occurred.
Revealing.
Recreation is mentioned in there, and recreation as a broad scale. So it doesn't mean that mountain biking was ruled out. It just means that wasn't a goal. I would expect that we probably will give that some focus in addition to maybe some hiking trails or some other sort of that. So.
What makes Carrabassett a different town than some of the others? I mean, you've obviously haven't toured around and experienced all of these surveys the other towns do, but is this different than what other towns do?
I don't think it's different than what other towns do. I mean, I think we can lump ourselves into, we're a resort town, so we're going to be similar to a Bar Harbor or a Rangeley or a Bethel or a Bridgeton. I think recreation is our single main driver, and then all the other things that support recreation are the accessory, whether it's housing or workforce or restaurants and other amenities that support that. I think we're the consultant, when they met with us the first time, there's probably 20 or so committee members like, wow, this is a big group. And that committee doesn't speak for the entire town, but I think there's only one gentleman on the committee that doesn't live in town that is there on behalf of Weyerhaeuser, which is he used to be Plum Creek.
Sure.
So he lives down in Jay and works with them. Everybody else is here in town, and I think folks have got a pretty good pulse of what's going on. That being said, we don't want to get stuck in a rut, and this is the way we've always done it. But I think we're a big small town or a small big city, however that saying goes. But I think there's a core group of folks, for better or worse, that are usually the volunteers and the movers and shakers that are the normal faces that know what's going on. I think when you get into a bigger town or a bigger something spread out more, that not everybody in that small group knows as much collectively. Then you've got to reach out more to different user groups and go from there.
What is your role at the town? Tell us.
So I am the town's code enforcement officer and the plumbing inspector. So whenever somebody wants to build anything big or small, they really should be reaching out to me. If they're adding plumbing or altering plumbing or replacing a septic system, then I'm the go-to person, and I usually find myself involved in a lot more than that, whether it's cleaning up a blowdown on the gauge. We don't have a public works crew, so sometimes it's Deb or Josh or Dave or I that are out taking care of that. So
well, you have a diverse background.
I do. A civil engineer that quit his job to become a snowmaker, to manage the Nordic Center for 5 years, to where I am now. So
Well, we appreciate what you do. This is a great asset to the town, I believe.
It is, and it's so towns by state statute are required. They're actually required to complete a comprehensive plan every 12 years. If it's outside 12 years, then the state doesn't consider it recent and current. So that if you're seeking grant funding, if you're seeking other things that may interact with the state,
Right.
they basically shove you to the side. We've been recognized that we're 20 years out at this point, but we've been recognized of you're working, so that helps us of we're engaged in the process.
Sure.
And look forward. I don't know how many towns complete that, but I think for any town, it's good to keep track of who you are and where you think you're going, so that you know where to put your resources.
Absolutely. This is great. You can find out more information on the town website, and you can scan the code if you see these posters around. I'm sure they are around and about. Love to have your input. If you are a sugar loafer,
If you live here, if you own here, if you interact with the community, whether it's summer or winter, it's not exclusionary of I don't own property there, I can't fill out the survey. So.
fantastic. We want all that input. Thank you, Chris.
Thank you, Greg.
Appreciate it. Looks like a lot of work, and we'll look forward to seeing the comprehensive plan, just like
and
this.
I'll look forward to your notes and scribbles on.
Will
on
there be
what
a
you
quiz?
think. That's
All right, fair enough. Thank you, Chris. We appreciate it, Chris Parks. And go and check out the survey. We've got